Okay.
You are one pathetic loser.
What's John Carpenter thinking to sue Lockout, the people that made Lockout? What is he thinking?
I got a real problem with John Carpenter after watching this movie, and it goes back to what you said in the beginning, Ronnie. You're struggling to come up with an opposite of what I'm saying. Like, everybody on YouTube loves John Carpenter.
Why?
I'm so sour on this guy, and the fact that he was such a dickhead to the people who made this movie. This really good movie, by the way, better than half the shit he's made.
He definitely hadn't made a movie this good in 15 years.
Since the 80s? Since the effing 80s.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so Vampires.
Vampires and maybe Village of the Damned.
Village of the Damned ain't better than this movie, but Vampires, I think, yeah, maybe.
So, I guess I need you or anybody in the comments who's educated to explain it to me. He sues this movie because it is so much like the movie I made, Escape from LA. But Ronnie, I mean, aren't all movies very similar to other movies?
Yeah, I don't understand how exactly he won this court case over in France. Because, I mean, okay.
Before I lose track, Ronnie, can I just throw some examples at you and you answer it for me?
That's what I was supposed to do.
An alien crashes down on Earth and a family falls in love with it.
Mac and Me.
Okay, yeah. It was E.T., but okay. A policeman goes undercover and infiltrates a gang that does high-risk activities, and he becomes friends with them, and at the end he quits his job.
Police Academy 2.
No, it's Fast and Furious or Point Break.
Oh.
There's an asteroid headed for Earth in 1998.
Armageddon.
No, it's Deep Impact, brother.
Volcano and Dante's Peak.
Ronnie, a terrible tragedy happens and a guy gets stranded all alone in this isolated place. What's the name of that movie?
Oh, Isolated Place. That would be Castaway.
No, it's The Martian.
How did he win this court case?
I don't get it. I really don't.
I think he ended up initially winning $60,000 US in a French court case, and then they kept fighting it. And at the end, it turned out to be like $300,000 because of whatever. Nick Castle got some money out of it.
I'm glad Castle got paid.
It's Scarecrow. Anything you like?
I'm glad Carpenter got paid because he needs money and he needs attention. And I mean, let's just be honest. Other than Halloween, his biggest hit is a freaking remake of another movie. I mean,
it's true. The Thing.
Yeah.
How did he not get sued?
I don't get it, man. It pisses me off.
So we're talking 2012's Lockout, starring Guy Pearce and Maggie Grace. You'll know her as the chick from Lost.
Yeah.
She's also the chick that is Liam Neeson's daughter that gets taken.
Yeah.
And Guy Pearce is in Memento and a bunch of other shit I've never seen. But I will say this.
Big fan.
Huge fan of Guy Pearce. And Hollywood really missed the boat on Guy Pearce, the action star. He plays Snow in this movie. And let's just talk about the plot of this movie. A woman who just happens to be the president's daughter goes up to a really restricted prison that just happens to be in space to research what she thinks is testing that's being done on the inmates' brains. Because in this giant maximum security, obviously in space prison, they're putting them into stasis like Demolition Man and waking them up when their sentence is over, which I always thought was like, hey, I'm going to go kill somebody because if you put me in stasis in 100 years when I wake up, I'll be the same age.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. But what this stasis is doing is supposedly lobotomizing a lot of these criminals, and she's there to do research on whether or not it's harmful for a human being to go into stasis.
Yeah, so they're typical, political BS, Ronnie. We finally have it made. We got all the criminals up in space, and she's like, well, we need to study what it's doing to them. He's like, who cares? We don't have any riots, no murders, no sexual assaults. None of that is happening in prison. She's like, yeah, because they're all under cryo or whatever it's called. And she's going to investigate because, what'd you say, it causes Alzheimer's? And
it causes, it causes dementia, and
dementia.
It's like you're being lobotomized. And of
so,
course,
before we get into the story, where I thought we were going, Ronnie, I thought this was going to be a Con Air situation. I thought she was going to get up there, some stuff was going to go down, and they were going to have to let out one of the prisoners, Guy Pearce, to save the day. That's where I thought it was going. This is before I even turned it on, by the way.
Guy Pearce plays Snow, who is an ex-CIA guy, is the way I took it. They may have actually said CIA, but he's like a covert op. And the beginning of the movie, you had to point out to me, the beginning of the movie has a ton of, and actually the director pointed it out to me when I reached out to him, the beginning of the movie has a lot of bad CGI. Yeah. It was so bad I didn't even notice it. That's how terrible of a movie watcher I am. But he is in the process of fighting off bad guys and trying to save a guy that he knows. And in the process, the bad guy from, or the Russian from Armageddon, is watching him kill what looks like his friend. So now he's arrested, and we get a huge chase scene. He tosses the briefcase with the information to a guy named Mace that's on a subway. He gets away. Snow gets captured, and we get a great interrogation scene, Blake, where they are just beating the piss out of Guy Pearce, and he's got a little quip for every time they hit him, and it's really good. This is like Guy Pearce plays the type of action star that I love. He is John McClane in this movie. He is every wisecracking semi-buff, because he did get semi-jacked for this role, hero looking to save the day. He is the best part of this movie. He needs to be on screen every single second. He has got so much charisma in this movie. I don't understand how the Red Box and Tubi and Netflix is not filled with 50 Guy Pearce action movies, Blake. He was that good.
He was a very good character. He was sarcastic. He was a smartass. He was tough. I mean, he was pretty much everything you like about your old classic action heroes, you know. Didn't remind me of Snake Plissken at all, really, other than he was going into a prison.
And then he does mess around with a cigarette every now and then, and he has a lighter.
People don't smoke anymore.
Yeah.
I love that line.
You can't smoke in here.
All evidence to the contrary.
Morgan from Walking Dead shows up. Lenny James.
I am not Morgan. God damn it.
He shows up, and he is, connected.
I think he's ever said that at a convention.
Probably. Snow is about to be sentenced to 30 years for murder and up to the maximum prison in space, when all of a sudden the geniuses at the prison decide to unthaw one of the worst prisoners in the whole joint. Some guy that's like he ought to be like Marvel villain. He's so crazy. He's like part of a hamster. Are we supposed? And I would think that, it would have been better for the story if the stasis would have like messed with him, and that's why he's so crazy. But his brother that he thaws out, Alex, great villain name, by the way, says later on in the movie, I've always had to take care of you. I've always had to take it. Let's talk about the villains for a second, Blake, and we'll come back. This guy, in a scenario where the entire Death Star is filled with violent criminals, the two, or probably the most boring one, ends up being the voice and the main one. They never went where I thought they could have with him. I thought him being the calmness to his brother's craziness, that at the end of it, you would see he's just pretending to be calm. He's actually crazier than the crazy brother, and we get to see like big bad villain. Instead, we get the ending that we got. But anyway,
the whole time Snow is acting like this mission to save the president's daughter is like a side mission for him. He's focused on doing something else. And I thought, Ronnie, that it was all leading to it being revealed that Alex and Snow are friends, but now they're on opposite sides of what needs to happen. I thought that's where we were going. Obviously, it's not what happened, though.
Well, they tell you where they're going, because once the president's daughter is, and by the way, the convicts don't know they have the president's daughter. Harry Shaw Morgan comes up with the plan. He goes, we can send Snow up there. He can save her and he can bring her home, because if you guys try to attack the Death Star up there, they're going to kill her. All right. And they play off the president not wanting to do his job because his daughter's up there. That worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it should have, because the president was never fully developed as a character. So when the Russian from Armageddon, took his presidential power away from him because of the Congress signing the 20 whatever amendment, it didn't have that kind of feeling that it would if we were like attached to the president. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And after this whole thing is over, we got a new president, right?
No, he comes back. They sign him back into being president.
Oh, okay. They do. Okay.
Yeah. So what they did in that situation is they invoked, what I think is like the 26th Amendment. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
And when the president, like if the president goes under anesthesia, something could break loose while he's under there. So you got to have somebody that comes up the chain of command. So they sign him right back in after that. It's no big deal, which after that point, you think he's got to fire that guy from the Secret Service.
Oh,
Let me see if I can remember this guy's name. Peter Stormare. I mean, this might be
fire him though, because it turns out he's really good at his job.
It's true. I mean, it's true,
it's
but
tough.
I mean,
it's a tough situation.
So
because at the end of the day, nobody can blow up their own kid. I get that, but he is telling the truth, sir. We gotta, we're sacrificing one person to get rid of all these maniacs.
And not to mention the by this point, the prison had broken orbit and was looking to crash into Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do something. By the way, this was also a plot point for the West Wing. The president's Martin Sheen's daughter gets kidnapped, and he's not able to fulfill his role. He doesn't have a vice president at the time because the vice president got caught screwing. So he hadn't appointed a new vice president yet. The Speaker of the House is the next one in the chain of command, happens to be a Republican. And they talk about how he's signing over the presidency to the Republican. Comes walking in, the big reveal, the Speaker of the House is John Goodman. I mean, it was a huge ordeal. Like when I used to watch
President can't screw?
Not when he's cheating on his wife. Yeah. So John Goodman walks into the West Wing, and like for the first time, you're like, wow, John Goodman's the Speaker of the House, and he takes over as the presidency to the president till they, find the daughter. I know you were really worried about that, guys. The reason John Carpenter sued is because Snow goes into space to a maximum security prison that looks like the Death Star to rescue the president's daughter and bring her home. And Escape from LA, he goes to rescue the president's daughter in LA. Snake Plissken does. And then in this movie, Snow.
Maybe he sued over the really bad CGI because Carpenter used the same thing when Snake was surfing.
You reckon that's really what I like that better. I'm going to live in a world where John Carpenter saw that CGI during that chase scene in Lockout and said, you know what? That's worse than Peter Fonda and Kurt Russell surfing next to Steve Buscemi in a car.
Yeah.
I can't have that. So I'm suing. That CGI is worse than the train
The toy
And
train and goes to
Mission to
Mars.
Mars, goes to Mars, whatever the hell it is. So
It's safe to say that Blake is now anti John Carpenter. I won't tolerate any talk of John Carpenter on this podcast, at least for a month.
unless he comes on.
30-day ban on John Carpenter.
John Carpenter's banned for 30 days unless he decides to come on and talk Ghost of Mars. Now, I want him to talk about how much coke he was on when he was the Crypt Keeper in Body Bags.
No makeup.
No makeup, brother. All right, so.
We're going to talk about that?
No, probably not. Let's talk about Snow some more. Let's talk about Guy Pearce. He gets up there, Blake, and he's got the president's daughter saved in 5 minutes. He enters the prison. He gets up there. He grabs her, saves her. A pretty cool scene where the Secret Service guy, of course, the criminals find out that the president's daughter's on board and they chase her. She locks herself in like an elevator shaft type thing. And the Secret Service guy realizes they're running out of oxygen. And he shoots himself in the head so that the president's daughter would have more oxygen for a longer period of time. I thought that was like really stupid. He should have shot her in the head like Ernie was going to do that chick in Return of the Living Dead.
So you thought it was... So from a story standpoint, you thought it was stupid, or...
No, I'm just being a jerk. I thought it was actually like this dude's really committed to the game to be able to just sacrifice himself to save this child that he's been protecting.
I'll be honest, like, I mean, obviously I would do that for family, but selfishly, I would rather go out like that than losing air. I mean, suffocating.
Yeah, you're probably right. He probably thought I'm just going to save myself from looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Total Recall. But no, Guy Pearce.
Only thing this movie was missing, titties.
Guy Pearce gets in there, saves her, is taking her to the escape ship. Now, Blake hinted on it earlier. He thought maybe that the main criminal here, Alex, and Snow had some kind of like personal
Relationship, yeah.
But Shaw, or Morgan, whatever you want to call him, Morgan tells Guy Pearce that Mace has already been sent to the Supermax prison. So he wants to get up there to Mace to find out what Mace did with that classified information that he got from his buddy at the beginning of the movie that got killed. So he agrees to go save the president's daughter just so he can try to find Mace and get that information. And like I said, he's got her saved in like 5 minutes. He's going to throw her into the escape pod and get her out of there, but she refuses to leave everybody else. In the midst of all this, you got the bad guys showing why they're the bad guys. They're executing hostages.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Positive feedback?
Ryan Sandberg just died.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, what is happening right now? All these people on the Epstein list checking out.
There you go.
Ryan Sandberg from RBI Baseball 3. I'll never forget.
He's the best. I'm just hearing my voice.
How'd he die?
He had cancer.
Gosh.
But he put out a message or a statement about a week ago, maybe not even a week ago.
Is that I'm out?
Or no, he's just talking about how he continues to fight, and everybody said that was the goodbye message. And, immediately in the comments, they were like, "This must not be good." Anyway, R.I.P. Ryan Sandberg, huge part of childhood. He gets up there, and Snow is outclassing all of these piece of shit criminals. He is the best. He's the best fighter. He's got the best jokes, Blake. He throws somebody into like a time warp machine. He punches the daughter of the president in the face.
It's okay. It's only cosmetic. It's nothing personal.
So that she doesn't look so pretty, and then takes her hair and covers it in oil and so that she looks.
I realize this has been a long time ago. She is really pretty, though.
Guy Pearce's realization when he goes to the escape pod and sees there's only one escape pod, that they sent him up there to die. He finds Mace. We're going to try to get this review done quick. He finds Mace, and of course, Mace has only been in stasis a little while, but he has dementia. It has affected his brain.
What's going on, man?
I know what this is. It's dementia.
Oh, come on. He's like 35.
It's from the stasis.
And he just keeps repeating the same thing over and over. The crazy guy that looks like a rat has killed every single one of the hostages. His brother gets there and sees what's going on, and he kills his brother. Like the guy that you thought was the main bad guy is killed by the crazy brother. And now he's running stuff. The prison's hurtling towards doom. They got all these guns all over the prison I thought was cool, shooting everything up. What would they have to shoot away with those guns? Asteroids?
Aliens.
And in a cool scene, the guy that's like a lab rat goes to stab her in the stomach. And I'm like, damn, he stabbed her in the stomach because she's already been shot in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just sitting there looking at him, and he's looking. And then you look over, and Guy Pearce has caught the blade in his hand while this guy's trying to stab her and stopped it. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, or badass things I've seen in a movie from a hero, wrapping your hand around a knife and catching it, knowing your hand's going to get eat up to protect the chick. Then it's one punch and they kill him. And they're out the door in spacesuits, Blake.
Really cool. This next whole sequence was awesome.
Yeah, they like skydive from space with these big mechanical suits. And once they bust through the atmosphere, they just hit the parachute and land on the interstate. I thought that was really, really cool how they did that. And it turns out all they do is arrest him when he hits the pavement, because even though he saved the president's daughter, he still got to go to prison, Blake.
Yeah.
But the president's daughter, being the president's daughter and being in love with Guy Pearce because he saved her and all that good stuff, takes all the things that Mace was saying over and over and realizes that even though Mace's brain was messed up, he was still trying to communicate where all this information was, where this briefcase that Frank left actually was. And she finds it. And the movie ends with Morgan going to see Snow and Snow pushing the case across to Morgan. And Morgan opens the case up. They talk for a second and Snow goes, "How'd you open the case?" "I didn't give you the combination." And you realize that Morgan was the rat that Frank was talking about at the beginning of it. He's the one that sold him out, that got him killed. And then Morgan gives a great speech because he sees the Secret Service guy looking at him. And he's like, "So what?" And like Blake said, he goes, you're a relic. Nobody needs you. They need people like me because I'm smart. He goes, "Yeah, I'll go to jail, but they're going to let me out because they need me." You're still smoking cigarettes, man. Who does that? Earlier in the movie, they asked why that main villain had the cut and the burn around his eye. And Snow goes, "He's a rat. In prison, if you're a rat, they burn you right there." So he's flicking that lighter the whole time. And right before they take Morgan off, he burns the side of his damn face. So everybody in prison will know he's a rat.
Really cool.
Yeah. And then we find out that there's a jump drive in the lighter. And it's got all the information that he needed, not only to prove his innocence, but to prove, everything he was trying to prove in the movie.
Really well done and fun.
And, you get the Napoleon Wilson thing too, where she asked multiple times, "What's your first name?" And he goes, "I'll tell you sometime." And then she calls him Marion. His first name is Marion Snow. And she keeps talking to him over and over and over, calling him Marion. And I told Blake that was a throwback to Cobra. His name is Marion Cobretti in that movie. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Cobra. But overall, Lockout is more known for the lawsuit than it is for being a really great action movie. And by great, I mean, I think it's great because I think Marion Snow is one of the most untapped potential, has the most untapped potential of any action character.
It's a shame this got shut down before it could take off.
Like, if you put Guy Pearce in a Jerry Bruckheimer movie as Marion Snow, it's going to make $300 million, Blake. Yeah. If you put him in a different vehicle to show off that character, it's going to be a franchise. That character is that good. It's sort of like the guy that played the piano when he got jacked up to be in that Predator movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like that. But Guy Pearce is phenomenal in this movie. This movie is really good. A lot of, I didn't see that many reviews for it on YouTube, Blake. I saw a couple of queers talking about the CGI and stuff like that. You're going into this movie knowing that it's like a B movie. I think it's better than Escape from LA. It might even be, to me, it might even be better than Escape from New York. It's a real.
I had that take, and I was just going to keep it to myself. I think I enjoy this more than Escape from New York. I really do.
Guy Pearce missed the boat. He could be an action star for the last 13 years. You imagine how much money he'd have right now?
At least $250,000.
Instead, he's doing things on social media about Gaza. Gaza had that money.
So we got Jeff Ward, John McBride, Vincent DeSanti. Are we ready to induct Steve St. Leger into the ATG and AT Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I tried to figure out how is it Leger, Steve St. Leger. I couldn't find an interview with him anywhere on YouTube. He did the show Vikings. We reached out just for information from him on this movie, and he
does the show Vikings.
Yeah, he did. So
I got a coworker who swears by that show. He says that show is really good, so I might check it out.
He wasn't allowed to talk about the movie because of the lawsuit, apparently. Now, whether or not he was just lying to me because he didn't want to talk about the damn movie, either way. But the best part of the email was the fact that he said he knew the show. Now, on a scale of one to bullshit, Blake, what do you think? What do you think Steve's doing here? I will give it to him. This movie has two directors, Steve, and the other guy's James Mather. James Mather didn't take the time to get back with me. At least Steve did. He said, "Keep up the good work." And if he could,
James Mather kin to Walter Mather,
probably.
Steve, don't BSer, Ronnie. Tell him.
Steve, you know what I used to have for breakfast in the morning? You know, I used to have for dinner. Steve, thank you for taking the time to write us back to say that, if you ever see John Carpenter in the alleyway, he's going to get the out of him. Yep. But he didn't really say that.
We're going to kick his ass for you. You wait till Halloween 50.
It's for Steve.
It's on site.
He's freaking. He say who? Who? Talking about that made a better Escape movie than I did. Oh, it was a good movie though. I would recommend anybody that likes cool action stars and movies to go out and watch Lockout, because it was the #1 movie for like 4 months on Netflix back in 2012.
Steve, would it kill you to throw some in there, man? None of those prisoners could have tore open the chest of one of those nurses.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2079. The movie takes place in 2079. There's got to be some trannies in there that's got.
It shouldn't be a big deal in 2079, especially in space.
No.
Space. That's the movie that Ronnie and I are working on right now.
Yep, we're going to start our GoFundMe here pretty soon. Right after we go to the theme park.
Mm-hmm.